Over the last week, I rewatched Barney and the Backyard Gang. This was a home video series starring Barney the dinosaur, the 6-foot purple dinosaur from your imagination, most known for the PBS kids show Barney and Friends. Although these videos might be a bit janky and hokey, they're favorites amongst fans, and they helped gain Barney the footing he needed to be such a massive success in the 90s. Today I'm going to be ranking the videos from worst to best. People are really passionate about these videos, honestly more so than anything that preceded it, so I'm ready to be roasted in the comments for having some eclectic opinions. Number 8. The Backyard Show. The Backyard Show was the first video released in the series. It was part of the original trilogy of videos that were produced in June of 1988. You can really tell that they weren't too sure what the vibe of the series was going to be. I remember being so confused watching this for the first time, thinking I turned on some 1980s sitcom because of the dialogue and the pacing. Like, I can just hear the laugh track.
Right? Oh, you don't want to be late for that golf game.
You know, it's a shame I have to play today. Of all days.
In this video, Michael and Amy decide to surprise their dad with a birthday show. With the help of Barney and their imaginations, they find things in their clubhouse to incorporate into their show. If I'm being honest, it was a bit painful sitting through this video. I understand that they couldn't do much with the limited budget that they had, but the storyline lacks any real excitement. If there's anything that this video does well is introduce each member of the Backyard Gang and give them each their own little moment. There's no denying this is an extremely talented group of kids, but unfortunately that doesn't save this boring video. Number 7. A Day at the Beach. Although the Backyard Show was the first video released, A Day at the Beach is a video where our story begins. Unfortunately, there were delays in the release date because of some issues with the special effects used, and I mean some really noticeable issues. Barney appears a dark eggplant purple for most of this video due to issues with the blue screen effect. As a Barney fan, I can get past this, but some of the special effects are just laughable. In A Day at the Beach, Michael and Amy get news that their beach day has been cancelled. With help from Barney, he takes the gang to the beach, where they look for seashells, explore a pirate ship, and meet a mermaid. I really enjoyed this video of this watch through. Seeing the Backyard Gang meet Barney is really satisfying, as it gives some establishment to the character. Most of the time, we never actually see Barney introduce himself to kids. They're all just sort of thrilled that a talking dinosaur appears out of thin air. The only thing that sets this video back a lot is the pacing. They got Sandy Duncan to sign on to do the original trilogy, and you can tell that they thought this was their golden ticket. They milked every second that they could to have Sandy on screen. And although she's an extremely talented woman, when I sit down to watch a Barney in the Backyard Gang video, I want to see Barney in the Backyard Gang, not Sandy in the Backyard Gang. Number 6. Campfire Sing-Along. I didn't grow up with the first 3 videos, so I don't have much of a connection to them, to the extent that I do with the latter half of the series. Campfire Sing-Along was one that I remember watching all the time as a kid. At this point in the series, Barney as a character has been refined a bit more, matching the character we all know and love a bit better. The costume performer David Voss puts so much energy into the character throughout this video, and establishes a lot of cute little quirks that Barney does all the way throughout to the TV series. The only setback is the costume itself. I actually prefer the 1988 suit to this one. Something about the eyes and the slenderness of the suit makes it really unsettling. All in all, this is a harmless middle-of-the-road watch. Although they are a bit more sophisticated here, you still have so many great moments of awkwardness that you can expect from Barney in the early 90s.
Gosh, it's great to have a turtle.
Number 5. Waiting for Santa. Waiting for Santa was the best-selling Barney video in general for a while, and for good reason. The video thrives when practical effects are used, but they still have yet to make the blue screen actually look good. The one aspect that really carries the video is the music. This is Bob Singleton's first video as musical director, and I think it's fair to say that without his input and talent, Barney wouldn't have been the massive success that he was. He finds a way to perfectly capture a Christmassy feeling without losing Barney in there. On top of all that, the child actors get a lot better at delivering lines and doing choreography. I mean, come on, who doesn't love the elf rap? But I mean, what the heck is up with this Santa? I'm not lying when I say that I made my parents throw out this tape because of this guy. He was terrifying.
Merry Christmas to all, and to a good night.
Number 4, 3 Wishes. In 3 Wishes, Barney grants the Backyard Gang 3 wishes to help bring some excitement to their boring Saturday. This is the most interesting video out of the original 3 because it actually fully focuses on Barney and the Backyard Gang rather than the parents. Now they're still using the blue screen here, but honestly it's forgiven with how great this video is. I think that unlike the other 2 videos, Sandy Duncan is actually an advantage. In the final scene of the tape, she sings a beautiful song titled Friends Are Forever, in which she states, "Friends are forever whenever they're make-believe."
Friends are forever whenever they're make-believe. When they're make-believe.
Number 3, Barney goes to school. For the first few years of Barney, they really tried to push the phrase edutainment.
The producers of these videos have made a commitment to quality in both entertainment and education. That's why they're calling it edutainment.
This was the first time that education took the front seat, and man did it pay off. When Tina wishes to show Barney her school, he whisks her off to her classroom, where the Backyard Gang shows Barney a regular day of school. Whether or not this was actually intended to be a backdoor pilot, it set the stage for where Barney and friends would be set, with them basically using the exact same classroom set for the first few seasons of the show. At this point, I feel like Bob West has fully established his performance of Barney. So let me put it this way. This is like PBS Barney if he were in the scary 1990 costume. The only reason why this isn't placed higher is because at times it can seem a bit redundant, singing song after song with not too much story in between. But that being said, this video is made for 2-year-olds and they obviously loved it. Number 2, Rock with Barney. Okay, hear me out on this one. I feel like as of recently, a lot of people have been ragging on this video, but I don't care, I love it. Basically, the whole premise of the video is Barney and the Backyard Gang explore a movie studio. And that's about it. I know it sounds boring, but honestly, this one and the number 1 video are the most exciting ones. They never spend too much time on one topic, and there's so many interesting sets and props. This is one of the first times that the PBS costume is used. Of course, they have yet to perfect the blinking mechanism, so Barney always looks like he just heard something really shocking. If you watch this one like it's a variety show rather than it having a plot line, it becomes a lot more enjoyable. Number 1, Barney in concert. Now this is Barney. In Barney in concert, we see Barney and the Backyard Gang perform for an audience of Barney fan club members. The video mostly just contains performances from each member of the Backyard Gang, but one pivotal moment is Barney's surprise for the crew, a new friend named Baby Bop. It is such a breath of fresh air to see and hear the Barney we all know and love, with David Joyner now in the suit. With David Joyner now in the suit, the show is filled with 360s, bell kicks, and use of both hands for the very first time. That, along with a bit of a reworked way Bob West plays Barney, makes for the perfect starting place for the PBS series. The only thing they have yet to perfect is the mouth mechanism, but it's honestly forgivable just to see Barney being performed with so much energy. Whether or not you agree with my list, I would love to hear your thoughts on these 8 videos. Although I may not be obsessed with all 8 videos as I once was, I can always acknowledge the impact that it had on the franchise as a whole. Without this Barney,
Would you like to give me a hug? I'm nice and soft.
we couldn't have had this Barney. And I think that's pretty darn great.